Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something that's part of our daily lives, but honestly, it can feel super complex and even a little intimidating. I'm talking about money. So let's break it all down into simple, easy to get ideas.
Okay, let's be real for a second. If you've ever felt this way, you are definitely not alone. It's a surprisingly common feeling, but here's the good news. Just getting a little bit of understanding is the first and honestly the most powerful step toward feeling like you're in the driver's seat with your finances.
All right, so to really get a handle on all this, we've got to start at the very beginning. Like, what is money really? The answer has changed a ton over time, and understanding that whole journey, it really helps us get its role in our world today. At its most basic level, money is just a tool. Yeah, that's it. Think of it less like a piece of paper and more like a shared agreement that lets us easily trade our work and our stuff for the things we need and want, from groceries to a bus ride.
But it wasn't always about coins and paper. For most of human history, if you had eggs and you wanted bread, you had to find a baker who, you guessed it, wanted eggs. That's called bartering. Over time, we invented currency to make these exchanges way simpler, a journey that has taken us from physical cash all the way to the digital payments we use on our phones today.
So, we have a basic idea of what money is. But how does it actually flow into our daily lives? Let's take a look at the most common paths it takes to get to us. For most adults, the cycle is pretty simple. You provide your time and your skills at a job, and in return, you get a wage or a salary. It's really the most fundamental economic exchange for the vast majority of people. Of course, a traditional job isn't the only way to get money. It can come from being self-employed and running your own business, from creative work like selling your art, or even from support from family or government programs. Now, once you have money, you face a huge choice with every single dollar. You can either spend it right now on your immediate needs and wants, or you can save it for the future. The real challenge for all of us, no matter how much we make, is finding the right balance between these two paths. Here's a really smart way to manage your spending. Just pause for a second and ask yourself a simple question. Is this a true need, something essential for my survival and well-being, or is it a want? Seriously, recognizing the difference is like having a financial superpower. And this is where a budget comes in. Creating a budget is kind of like drawing a map for your money. It's not about restriction, it's about empowerment. It's about telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Now, as our financial lives get bigger, so does the vocabulary. So let's look at a few key terms that can seem complicated at first, but are absolutely essential to understand as you navigate the world. First up is debt. In simple terms, this is just any money you've borrowed that you have to pay back, whether it's $5 you owe a friend or thousands you owe a bank. A loan is the formal agreement that creates that debt. When you get a loan, you're borrowing a specific amount of money that you'll have to repay, usually with a little extra on top. That extra bit? It's known as interest. A mortgage is one of the biggest and most common types of loans most people will ever take on. It's a very specific loan used for just one thing, to buy a home. And for anyone going on to higher education, tuition is the fee you pay for the cost of your classes and learning. And yeah, this is another area where loans are super common. Understanding these terms is incredibly important because for a lot of people, they're a central part of navigating some very real financial challenges. This is something so many people feel when those big, larger economic forces start to impact their personal finances in a very, very direct way. A recession is one of those big forces. It's a widespread economic downturn that can affect job availability and the flow of money for pretty much everyone in a country. You see, money problems can be triggered by so many things, from really personal events like an unexpected medical bill to much broader issues like widespread job loss or rising debt. And this just shows that the impact isn't only financial. The stress of worrying about money can take a heavy emotional and physical toll, affecting our health and even our ability to just enjoy life. But when people are facing these struggles, they find strength. They do it by taking small but really meaningful steps, seeking support from those around them, and looking for new opportunities to improve their situation. So when it all comes down to it, what's the big takeaway? It's that knowledge is power. I mean it. Understanding these basics is the most important tool you have for building a more confident financial future, and it doesn't matter where you're starting from. We'll leave you with that thought. Because every big financial journey, every single success story, begins with one small intentional step.